What's funny is I had a Sonic plush just like this when I was little. Just like it. It's crazy. What's up, guys? MarJack79 here, and today, for this video game review, we're going to talk about Sonic Forces. And guess what? It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game at all. So, let's get to it.
Size of that thing. There's all kinds of things show up when you're have to do it.
So, why is it not a bad game? So, I mean, if you've played Sonic Generations, or if you like the speed section in Sonic Unleashed, or I mean, even if you like Sonic Colors, definitely, this is a good game, man. It's not perfect by any means. I mean, it has its flaws, but you know, overall, it's not a bad game. Now, I think let's start out with the few cons that I think it has. Definitely, would be the controls. I think would be the most major issue with the game. Now, there was some area through my playthrough where I would hit jump and I wouldn't jump and I would plummet to my death. And when you're like running straight and you know it's the option, you can like hit R1 or L1 to like shift left or right. Sometimes it wouldn't do that, and that would cause an unfortunate death too. But luckily they incorporated the system where you don't really need lives, so it's not really a penalty for dying. I mean, except, well, you lose points and you lose your chance probably to get an S ranking on a level, but I mean, that's not really that big of a deal to me. So, but overall, man, like I said, if you like any of the speed sections, or I mean, if you like Sonic Mania, I mean, this game is for you, absolutely. Personally, I think Sonic Mania is better because I think I'm a little bit biased because, you know, I've been playing Sonic since 1992. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was the first one that I ever played, and then I went back and played Sonic 1, and then I think the pinnacle of the series is still Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So the story is pretty straightforward. Dr. Eggman is attempting to take over the world again. He has a new lackey, or Shadow-esque, you know, Silver-esque hedgehog type villain that is Sonic's new rival, I would say. I don't really think he's as interesting as the likes of Shadow or whatnot. I still think he's probably the best rival that Sonic has ever had. But I mean, it's not terrible by any means. Now, what I thought was cool is that they actually connect the Sonic Mania story to the Sonic Forces story. So, you know, I thought that was really cool. So, aside from the Sonic levels, like the Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors type levels, they do swap back and forth between 3D and 2D. I feel like I would have liked it a little bit better if it would have kept its 3D aspect a little bit more. Because I mean, you have, of course, you know, you have classic Sonic in there too, and his levels are completely 2D. So when you have the 3D portions in there, or when you have 3D Sonic in there too, and then you make his sections 2D as well, it's like, nah, I'd rather, you know, have his sections be more 3D, I would say, definitely. Now, I don't know, the physics were a little bit off with classic Sonic sections too. It's definitely a little stiff, I would say, where Sonic Mania's controls and physics were absolutely spot on to the Genesis era. But I don't know, for some reason Sonic Team just can't nail the physics with their classic Sonic sections. It was kind of like that in Sonic Generations too. I mean, it was kind of like, it was just too floaty and too stiff. Maybe it's just the level of graphics that they're using, or I don't know. It just feels a little bit off. I mean, it's not bad by any means. It's not bad at all. I mean, it's still fun and it's still enjoyable. I don't know. Just something about the physics mechanic is a bit off.
Decoy, time for you to do your thing. We have to capture the chemical plant. If anyone tries to stop you, take them out. Say no more. They all know what hit them.
So let's talk about the avatar section in the game. So pretty much you get to create your own avatar. You know, you get to pick the animal species and his outfit and what kind of power he's going to have throughout the level. I definitely thought this was a really cool aspect to the game. It was definitely fresh. It was an absolute change from the typical boost section in the 3D Sonic levels. It was definitely gives you a different aspect of how to get through each stage. I think his little grappling hook was cool. That's definitely a welcomed addition to change up the formula a little bit. I really didn't understand how he can just all of a sudden run as fast as Sonic, but whatever, who cares, I guess. Yeah, that's a good part, man. I'm very curious to see how they will incorporate future sections like that in future Sonic games, because you know the ending kind of had him separated from the rest of the group. So very curious to see how that's going to work. But yeah, overall, man, like I said, it was a good game. I definitely understand the criticisms that it's been getting. I mean, it's really short. I probably put about 4 to 5 hours into it, and I completed all 30 of the main stages, and I believe it was 5 secret stages. So yeah, I completed all those in probably about 4 hours or so. So I mean, it's definitely short. But I mean, how you got to look at it, I think, is it's a $40 game. So you're getting 4 to 5 hours out of a $40 game. And I mean, if you've been a long time Sonic fan, I mean, I think it's a good value. I don't think the game is gonna pull in any more new fans that didn't already exist. I think this is a game that was made specifically for the fans of the franchise. It's definitely not going to be winning any kind of awards or anything like that. I mean, like I said, I mean, if you like the old school Sonic games, like Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations, you're going to like this game. But I mean, if you didn't like those games, then you're probably going to hate this game too. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So, I don't know, it's not really much else to say about the game. Well, actually, I guess I can run through the bosses too. I mean, I don't think that it's the franchise's best, but I mean, it's not the franchise's worst either. So, I mean, it's a couple of cool ones in there that, you know, really test your abilities, and then a few of them are kind of pushovers where you can like take advantage of the avatar's attack button, I think, and just attack, and it's not really that much challenge in there. So, what? I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank, man. Can't even think of what else to say other than it was a good game. I feel like I got my money's worth. So, if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it 7 out of 10, maybe like a 68 out of 100 or so. Probably go about that route. It's definitely not a failing game by any means. I mean, it looks like the effort is there. I don't know, just for some reason they just can't move it back into AAA territory. You get what I'm saying? It's nowhere near on par with some of this year's best games like Mario or Zelda or Horizon or injustice. It's just not. It's just not there. It's one of those side games that you can get and run through real quick. Like I said, if you're a fan of the franchise, between the games that you really want to play, if that makes sense. So. I mean, so I would say, I mean, if you're not really a fan of the franchise, but you're still interested in it, I would say rent it, or maybe try to borrow it from somebody. I think it's worth at least a playthrough. I give it that. But if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't buy it since it's so short. I think for the next one, I think they just need to make it longer. You know what I'm saying? They just need to figure out. I know those speeds. It's just the thing, and then that's the other thing too. The speeds, the stages are so short. They're probably like a minute long or so. I think pretty sure the majority of the stages. I don't think it was a stage in the game that took me over 2.5 minutes to complete. So, man, it's kind of a misfortune too. But I don't know, man. But even with all that, I mean, the time that I spent with the game, I enjoyed it. I really did. So yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna go ahead and close it out here. I mean, like I said, if I had to give it an overall rating, I'd probably go between 68-70% out of 100. So, I mean, if you like the video, do me a favor, go ahead and look towards the left side of your screen and hit that like button for me. I would really appreciate it. And if you want to see more content just like this, if you want to see more Sonic the Hedgehog content, look towards the right side of the screen and hit that subscribe button for me. You can follow me at www.youtube.com/marjack79 and www.facebook.com/marjack79. I really appreciate everybody's support, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. I'll catch you later, guys. Bye.
Forces are scattering bombs like confetti.
We can't go on like this.
The whole place is going up in flames. Fireworks I like.